Hey everybody, the Johnny Cage here, welcoming you to another edition of Friday Night Skype. Joining us today as a guest, all the way from Serbia. I got it right this time.
Yes, you did.
The most lucky one. I'm learning so much about world geography from doing this show. But how's it going? Yay, many claps. That's not enough. More claps. All right, stop clapping.
So demanding, jeez.
So, how's it going, man?
Yeah, everything is fine, doing my usual thing on YouTube, uploading videos and having fun, basically.
Yeah, you have a lot of videos up there, too, man. You've been piling through games. I was actually watching your playthrough of Tekken 4 last night, because I'm a big fighting enthusiast, but I've never really gotten into the Tekken series. Do you play any other fighting games besides it?
I played Dragon Ball, the Budokai series, basically.
Yeah. And
PlayStation 2.
We were talking about that.
And I played a newer fighting game called BlazBlue. I don't know if you heard of that.
I played BlazBlue. Mm-hmm. I actually have a Guilty Gear for the PS2, and they're kind of similar of sorts.
Yeah.
It's very Japanese-ish kind of fighting games. But I see them get played a lot at tournaments, at conventions, actually. So, definitely an interesting game, but one that probably a lot of people in the mainstream haven't played. It's no Street Fighter, that's for sure.
Okay.
Still a fun game, though. So what are you let's playing right now for those out there interested?
Well, right now I'm let's playing the Final Fantasy IV Complete Collection, for the PlayStation Portable, basically.
Oh, right.
And yeah, so far it's going good, I guess, trying my best, basically.
Sure. So far, so good. Yeah, you're able to record off the PSP. We were talking about that a little bit last night. How do you go about recording off of that?
I use Remote Joy and Fraps.
Oh.
If that makes sense,
Kind of. I mean, I'm not very technical, but if any of these guys know anything, chime in.
Nope.
Nope. General failure across the board.
I don't understand. Like,
Everyone
you Fraps on your
Camtasia,
PSP.
that's it.
No. It's Remote Joy, so it goes to the USB port. It just shows the screen, basically, no sound, without any. It's not the real way, but it's a way.
Well, I don't know if there's necessarily a real way whatsoever, but if you can make it work, you can make it work.
Then just the screen pops up and Fraps shows up, and yeah, that's how that goes. Fraps can record the footage and the sound together, basically, so you don't have to worry about putting the sound together with the footage to match it up, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, playing Final Fantasy IV, is that probably your favorite of them all? Because it's definitely, you could go in all sorts of controversy with...
It's really hard to... Well, my favorite one would be Final Fantasy VI, but the best one is Final Fantasy X2, the international version, if you heard of that.
Well, yeah, I know me and Genray, we definitely are huge fans of Final Fantasy X, so...
10-2.
And 10-2? I don't know about 10-2. I don't know about 10-2. 10-2's a little much. But the dress spheres and everything, and the fact that it starts out with Yuna doing like a Britney Spears dance, I mean...
yeah, that's all right and all, but there was a Japanese version only released in Japan, of course, and that version you can actually capture all the monsters, all the bosses, and customize them at your will.
Oh.
Kind of like in Final Fantasy
XIII
too.
Huh.
Yeah. So...
We got screwed then.
We always get screwed.
Go in Japan.
Awesome.
But yeah, my favorite is still 6, as far as overall goal.
Well, yeah,
that goes.
6 is definitely an amazing game. It's funny that you don't see like a more modern remake of 6, on like an actual console, because it does have one of probably the best story overall.
Yeah. I guess they will make one after Final Fantasy V, I guess, just to...
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm just happy you didn't say Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good old Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, well...
No good old Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII. How I love me a good Final Fantasy VII.
It came out for the computer recently.
Yeah, for Steam. On Steam, it's on Steam.
Really? Wow. I don't know how I would enjoy playing like an RPG like that on a computer.
It should be the same.
Well, it
Well,
kind
hey-
of is. I mean, now we live in a world where like you can just like you can hook up any kind of controller to the computer. But if it was
Yeah,
a while ago, having
and-
to do it all on a keyboard, that would have not been cool. I don't
Yeah.
think.
And the beauty of Steam is they actually came out with this new thing where you could actually start playing it on your TV with an actual controller now. So
We should abandon the consoles and just join the PC revolution.
totally.
I've been using Steam more and more so. I mean, I'll go on there every day, even if I don't have money, just to look at the specials that they have, because sometimes they have really great deals on games. I mean, if you don't have Steam, you're missing out, honestly. And if you do have money and you have Steam, you'll probably find yourself very poor very fast.
And considering Team Fortress 2 is free to play, there's no reason to not be on Steam.
Valid point. It is a very fun game. Even if you're like me, who is not a super huge fan of TF2, but you got a group of friends that might play it, it's definitely worth having. Probably the best free game out there.
It's fun to play against Johnny because he's so easy to trick stab.
I'm really bad at that game, but it's alright, because Utorai is not a very fun or nice person.
Yes, I am. I'm both fun and nice.
He's
What are
really
you talking
bad
about?
at video games, too, so he needs something he's decent at.
He at least apologizes after he stabs you in the back.
Just like, sorry, I needed the kill.
So one question we ask everyone is, what is your favorite game of all time?
You have 5 seconds to answer, or it's automatically E ET.
Well, I said it already, so it's Final Fantasy VI,
Oh, okay.
since I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy, and that would make perfect sense, I guess.
Have you played through like all of them pretty much?
I didn't finish 8 and 5 yet, so...
Well, you don't need to finish 8, because 8 sucks. I'll tell you that right
What?
now.
What?
I just have a huge problem with 8. I just didn't like it at all. And yeah, for me, there's a lot of nostalgia captured in 7. And yeah, so I do have a strong bias for why I like Final Fantasy 7 so much. But then going right from 7 to 8, just the differences that they made, and the characters, and the story, just everything in it, I just really disliked. So, talked to B-Dude and Genray about that all day, though. Their never-ending struggle to go through every single Final Fantasy ever made.
So far...
But I'm alternating it now with my Final Fantasy and non-Final Fantasy. Other than I need to get 8 out so I can get Turnips' game back.
Yeah.
I need a break.
I need a long break and a stiff drink. No. So 6 is your favorite. If you had to pick like another couple that are really up there, which would you go with? With 4, obviously. And then X.
Just other games as well, or what?
Oh, well, the Final Fantasy series, if it's your favorite. But other games, too. I mean, you were saying that your first system ever was the Sega Genesis. So, any very popular... And I just started playing some Sega Genesis games. I just did a Let's Play of Sonic, so... I saw you played the Golden Axe series, which is definitely a highly regarded series of games for the Genesis. But I haven't really played them too much. If Alta was here, you could tell us about playing Golden Axe, the one that he did.
Yeah, for like a half an hour.
For a half an hour, yeah. But are there any really good, like... Because you always hear titles for the Genesis. What were some of your favorite titles for the Genesis growing up that maybe weren't so popular?
Maybe Jungle Strike, but I think that was also popular in a way, since it was kind of the first 3D game, You were riding a helicopter and doing missions. It's a hard game also, so I enjoyed that aspect too. And
I think I might have played that, or was it Choplifter for the Super Nintendo? I think I'm thinking of Choplifter. But
I think it had a Super Nintendo version, so that surprised me. And also Pitfall, or or whatever. That's basic everyday action-adventure games, so that's a lot of fun.
True.
And, of course, Sonic and, the great stuff.
So what's your, have you played a lot of the Sonic games? Because I hear overwhelmingly people always say that Sonic 2 is the best one, so...
Yeah, I can agree with that, so...
Yeah.
That game just got it right,
Yeah, it really did. Just because that was my problem with the first Sonic, was it felt like after the first world, it was so much more a platformer than a game where you could just like enjoy yourself and like have fun going really fast. But I hear a lot of people say that with Sonic 2, they really hit it on the mark with incorporating all the goodness.
All the you can just basically run through them in 2 minutes if you are good in the game.
Yeah. Well, that's also another thing I felt like came down to knowing the levels.
Yeah. So, what was that? I think you heard of Boogerman. I had lots of fun with that game too, so that was a weird game.
Good old Boogerman. I remember renting Boogerman for the Super Nintendo a long time ago.
Yeah.
Never even heard of that game. Sounds interesting.
Give it a try. You're missing out on a classic. There,
it's very, very good. Yeah. Of course,
you're kind of like
it was very good.
Kind of like into more action platformers, like after the Final Fantasy series. That's more of your type of games then.
Yeah. So action platformers and then horror games and basically.
Horror games too. Horror games always make for really good Let's Plays. It's just fun to see people freak out.
Especially when they're blind?
Especially when they're blind.
That'll be fun.
So what's your favorite series? Are you a Resident Evil type of guy? Or
Heard of the horror genre? Well, Silent Hill is better.
Yes! That's what I'm going to be doing next. I got a little excited
I mean,
here.
Resident Evil is good, but it's not scary. It's not as scary as Silent Hill, as far as
Sure.
I mean, you get scared, but just for a second, and you kill the monster. And in Silent Hill, you are constantly scared. You are just freaked out about that game. That every minute or so, you are just looking everywhere. Just something will happen. In that game. It's just fucked up.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Like even in like Resident Evil 4, which is probably the most highly acclaimed one of the series. Even though people say that they changed the formula so much for that game, but it's not really that scary. It's most of the time just townspeople attacking you.
But it's more an action.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you want to talk about a horror game that didn't get it right? Was Parasite Eve? Did y'all play that?
Parasite Eve, really? Because you always hear good stuff about like Parasite Eve 1, but not Parasite Eve 2.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be a horror game, but it's more like a little RPG, like a little, yeah.
A little something.
A little of that and a little of this.
I wasn't impressed at all. It wasn't scary. I didn't like the gameplay. It made me want to throw up.
I really want there to be a horror platformer. I think that could work well if you did it right.
Horror platformer, like the scary levels in Gex games.
But like too much greater extreme.
Well,
I actually have like things thought out for like level design, but like I don't know, just basic things. But
it could be.
Well, guess what you're doing after Super Mario 64 hack? You're gonna make that game.
It could be like Typing of the Dead. Now that's scary.
Oh my God.
or like a Legend of Zelda type game, but horror.
Oh, well,
Which I hear there are stuff like that. Like I heard Darksiders 2 is like that. Like, oh, no, it's not. Wait, no, not. It's not horror at all.
no, Darksiders
But it's
2
M.
just looked like. I was over at a friend's house not too long ago, and he was playing it, and it just looked like God of War, with acting as you were one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. That's all it looked like to me. And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of like the God of War games anyway. I mean, there's gratuitous violence and nudity, which is always a plus. But
If you have to blow off some steam, you can just mash some buttons and watch stuff die.
that's true. But what if I just want to play some DDR and dance to like girly J-pop songs?
For a little drink.
Then you do some DDR and dance to some girly J-pop songs.
Then you mash some buttons and watch
Dance Dance Resident Evil.
I can just see Johnny in like his booty shorts, just giving her. Oh yeah.
Oh, I can see that. Now let's say Typing of the Dead, and let's make it with Dance Dance Revolution, and you have to dance zombies to death. I like where this is going.
We're onto something here.
I like where this is
You guys
going.
are geniuses. I like your style. You guys make me feel good about myself. You guys are cool. You dance Resident Evil.
No one believes.
I mean, how they made a dance thing for the freaking Star Wars. Why not do it for Resident Evil?
Well, yeah, but that's George Lucas. He'll do anything for a buck.
Is that a Kinect game?
Yeah, it's a Kinect game.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Don't lie to me. Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Shut your mouth. No, it's not.
Yeah, it is, dude.
I'm gonna stab you in the eye. You're kidding,
I
right?
did not know that. I mean,
How
it's
did
the
you
most
not know
talked
that?
about thing that when it came out.
I don't know. What do you mean it was the most talked about thing? I didn't hear about it.
I know, that's because you live in the South in a tiny little shack with a lot of dead people hanging from hooks in your barn or something like that.
I go and take a dump outside.
You didn't see nothing.
Oh, you know, if I go up that hill there.
So, back to the most lucky one. We very much still get on off topic.
Yay!
But feel free to chime in and shut us up at any moment. We also appreciate that. So, a lot of we talked about other fighting games you play. Dragon Ball Z. Let's see, what else do you have on your list? You have like so many games. Let's just go to your channel. I should have had that up all
Just one moment.
I'm just gonna go.
Just 1 second, guys.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
While he's doing that, I guess we could talk about, the fact that the Wii U has officially been announced, like the release date. How do you guys feel about that?
I got an email asking me if I wanted to reserve my Wii U of games.
Yeah, same here. Oh my god.
Talk about what is everyone's favorite Dragon Ball Z character.
Yeah,
I like the Wii U better.
Dragon Ball Z's. Well, we can talk about the Wii U for a long time, and I plan on talking about the Wii U for a long time.
I'm pretty sure we can talk about Dragon Ball Z for a long time.
I can't.
I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z.
Everyone's
My
favorite
fault.
Dragon Ball Z character, go, right now.
Matt's Roshi, all the way. Full.
Cell.
I don't know, I'm still a really big Goku person.
Yamcha.
Kid Goku. Kid Goku is awesome.
No, adult Goku.
Vegeta.
And my favorite's Vegeta.
Vegeta and
Yeah.
Goku remind me of Scar and
Simba.
No,
King.
Mufasa.
It's been a long time since you've seen Lion King, I take. No.
Scar,
You know one game that you played that I really loved? Monster Rancher 2. Like, when I first started doing Let's Plays, I played Monster Rancher Advance for the Game Boy Advance, but I have Monster Rancher 2 for the PS1. I love that game so much. Such, like, the
That's also awesome RPG, basically.
Yeah.
Very good.
I mean, I just love it. It's one of those games that deserves to get like as much recognition as like Pokemon did, and I mean they're not too far off from one another, but I don't know. I guess Pokemon just had better marketing. They had Pikachu.
Did you watch the anime?
Yeah, I did. I used to watch it every morning. Like I think in like middle
Yeah.
school, just like get up and I would watch that with Suezo and Golem and like I forgot what the main character's name was.
Ash.
What?
No,
No, they're
but-
talking about Monster Rancher.
Okay, never mind that. I was totally out.
I was confused about that too. I was just gonna wait to see what they're actually talking about.
Hang him now. Hang him.
I mean, who's that guy? Who's that guy that jumps a lot? Is that Mario? Oh, that's the guy.
That's the guy.
No.
That's the
skating and jump.
He can't jump. But, yeah, I'll have to watch your videos on that, too. That looks like it was one of those classic, gotta have it, camera pointed at the TV sort of LPs.
Yeah. It was one of my old videos, yeah.
Hey, I've been there, too. My Mega Man 2 Let's Play was just like that. That's passion right there. There you go.
You got a high.
You got
Then
it.
I got the cat.
You gotta have it. Gotta
Yeah.
have it. Anyway, alright. So, let's talk
So
about
that-
the Wii U.
That's
So, apparently Generation and Dilly shop a lot at GameStop, which I highly disapprove of, but...
I shopped there like once, and then they don't stop sending me emails ever since.
Once
then.
is one time too many, I'm afraid.
Johnny, I'm afraid you're going to be very disappointed. I actually have a rewards card at GameStop, so I get rewarded with points.
Oh, you devious bastard.
I know.
Oh. Alright, so, let's see. We know that the cheaper version of it with only 8 gigs of memory is going for $300.
Yeah.
And then we got the 32 gigs for $350. I don't know why you wouldn't want to, dish out the extra, 50 for that many more gigs of memory. But then again, I don't know, because I don't even have a current generation system, so I don't know how much memory you actually use. But it seems like if you're going to be downloading movies potentially and putting those on there, then you're going to use up a lot of memory really fast.
Well, not even that. I mean, it's been in the rumbles for a while, but a lot of people know that a lot of the titles for Nintendo are actually just going to be, all digital now. That's where, the game genre is going. So, I mean, once you really think about it, it kind of does make sense to get the bigger console memory because a lot of those games will be just, digital copy only. So.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it doesn't go that way right away. And maybe Nintendo won't be so much like the money-grubbing guys, execs that we got over at PlayStation and Xbox,
Well, I mean, my PS3 has like 300 gigs of memory, so I don't know how much money grubbing they are.
No, true. How much of that memory do you think you've used, or have you used?
25.
Nice. Well, yeah, actually, then that seems kind of low for sheer memory capacity, but...
Yeah, it just depends on what you put on there. Like, obviously, games, music, videos, you can put a lot of stuff on there. It just really depends on what type of gamer or what are you using your console for, plain and simple.
Especially if, like, all the games are going to be digital, because then eventually you're going to come to a point where it's going to force you to choose, well, I want to download this game because I want to play it, but I got to get rid of something.
Yeah.
If you had just had discs, all you have to do is be like, well, I'll just put this disc over...
I'm sure they won't have a permanent delete. I'm sure they'll have a cloud or something, talking about to put it in.
Cloud storage, yeah.
Yeah, but whenever you want to download it again.
Well, they've got to. I mean, if they don't, then, yeah, you're going to run into a lot of issues. I still think it's kind of stupid, because with there being virtually no rental market nowadays, well, there is, but, it's definitely not what it was, and it's very limited. But, that and... now everything going digital, seems like there's going to be like very few choices, of being able to give a game to a friend and say, here, try this out. Maybe you'll want to buy it then. Because I know that there's been a number of games that I bought just for that reason alone in the past. And to not have that as an option anymore kind of sucks. It's like the end of an era, really.
Johnny, I think you need to grow up, man.
No,
grow up.
Don't tell me that. I've been to the real world. It's a terrible place.
I mean, as much as we don't like to see that, I mean, it's probably where it's going to go down because, like, once you think about it, like we were talking about GameStop, a lot of it has to do with GameStop. The fact that they buy back games for just nickels at a time and then they sell it back at full price, but the original creators don't get any of that money. So it kind of makes sense if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it makes sense business-wise. Sure, I can't,
So we should put GameStop out of business and go digital.
Hey, no, we should put GameStop out of business, but we should also, like, not go completely digital, because I'm still against that, too. I'm just saying it makes sense.
What if they gave us the option to burn that digital copy onto, like, a Blu-ray disc?
Well, and that's the thing, too, where obviously there's going to be programs, there's going to be, hacked versions where you can do that, and you could start distributing it that way. You have to be somewhat of a technical expert to do that, and you're going to get in a lot of trouble if you get caught. You're probably going to be able to do that.
Just download the game, put it on disc, and like, hey, here you go, buddy, try this out.
There's always a way.
Much.
I mean, I remember when the Dreamcast came out, and you could just literally, like, as long as you had a boot disc, you could just burn the game onto just any sort of regular blank CD, and then pop in a boot disc. I still got it, actually. Still got a bunch of games that have been burned for the Dreamcast that you can just play at will. And
Me too.
I think we
the
had,
PlayStation.
yeah, I remember going over to a friend's house, and he had, like, every single game ever made for the Dreamcast. It wasn't, it was illegal, technically, but you could do it, People will find ways around it, is the bottom line, because people are smart like that, and pirates like that as well.
That just goes to show you, the world is a fickle thing.
Support the pirates.
Support the pirates.
Hey, it makes me feel like a Pirates of the Caribbean every time I pirate something. Be like, I am a pirate. How does that make me feel?
Do you take a swig of rum?
Pirate song. You are a pirate.
Oh, but alright, so I guess the big question is, if you've got $350 on you right now, do you buy this on launch day or not?
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm totally buying the Wii U on launch day. For sure. No question about it.
Really? Oh.
I will skip work to go and buy it. In fact, work's been pissing me off lately. Like, I swear to God, if they fuck with my TF2 season, I'm quitting then and there.
Yeah, working for Social Blade can be so hard.
No, I'm talking about...
I know. Don't worry about it.
No, they're dicks, though, because I told her, I'm like, okay, I kind of need Mondays to, do a thing. And then she agreed to it. And she's trying to fuck with me and say, I'm not able to do that, so I'm probably going to quit this Monday and be like, yeah, you know what? I'd rather shoot doctors in the face.
And then just walk out. Just don't. I would rather shoot doctors in the face. Walk out.
Keep it
I wanna
explained.
say.
I don't need to explain myself. You should
I've
know
always-
what I mean.
I always thought if a place is really making me mad and I want to quit, you got to make a scene, flip some tables, and just burst out of there. And like the busiest time of the day.
You're really
No, you have to somehow screw them over. Like I remember, I used to work for this like a fairgrounds amusement park type of thing, and we had go karts. And so as soon as everybody left, I was telling one of my managers, "Be like, dude, you gotta let me do this." So pretty much what I did is I took 3 go karts, took them out of the maintenance shack that we had, took the wheels off, and actually put it inside the building. So then when I left, and then they came back the next morning, they had actually moved back out. But it was hard because the maintenance guys were helping me out, and they weren't there that morning, and they couldn't fit them through the door. So yeah, that was fun.
Man, you guys are spicy.
Wow, those maintenance guys must have hated your bosses if they helped you with that.
Oh, they do. They hated him so much. Trust me.
Wow. That's love right there. Anyhow, so that's interesting. I mean, did you say that you would buy it as well, Dilly? The Wii U, day one?
No. Wouldn't touch it.
Actually, I'd like to make an addendum to my last statement. I'm only buying it if Pikmin 3 is a launch title, because at the moment, that's all I care about. That's on the Wii U.
Okay, valid point. Well, that probably will be. And, we didn't even talk. We were trying to come up with titles that are going to be on the
Wait,
Wii U.
did I say Pikmin 2 or Pikmin 3?
You said Pikmin 3.
Okay, just making sure I didn't fuck up.
But anyhow. Yeah, I mean, that will definitely be a really great title. I've never played a Pikmin game, so I can't speak much for the series, but, I mean, it is definitely popular. So, for that reason alone, a lot of people will buy it on day one. And I'd imagine that a game like Zombie U, which we've talked about quite a bit, will probably be a day one launch as well.
Yeah, and then it just depends if it's a good game. Like, I still want to see some solid gameplay trailer, not animated gameplay trailer, actual solid gameplay trailer, and see how much it actually skips. Because when you do something in real time like that, when you're crossing over devices, there's going to be some lag, and I just want to see how bad the lag is actually going to be.
That's a good question. I mean, and it's reasons like that that I think I would keep away from buying it for a while. I probably wouldn't necessarily wait till there's a price drop on it, but I probably would wait about 2 months before I bought it and see what games are really coming out for sure that aren't just rehashes of Wii games. And
Like the new Super Mario's Wii U or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that actually looks cool. I was watching video of people playing that at PAX, and it's a 5-player thing, which is really cool. So you've got 4 people playing it, and then you've got one person using, the Wii U remote with the screen on it, and they're making, like, platforms for you and question mark blocks along the way to help you get through the levels. Which,
Yeah, because that's what I want to do in my spare time,
right?
make platforms.
I mean, when I saw it, being played too, I was watching I think it was like a family playing it, and it was like a dad with like 2 little kids, and it was like a great thing for like the parent to do, to just like involve themselves in the game without knowing a lot about how to play the game, and taking like the controller away from their kids and actually like playing a character. They could do something like smart like that, that maybe a 5 to 7-year-old might not really know what they're doing, trying to place platforms to help people finish a stage,
Yeah, and I guess that makes sense. Make it more family friendly. That's all.
Johnny, how would you feel if you were the 5th wheel and somebody handed you the Wii remote for the Wii U? I'm like, here you go, Johnny. You to the 5th wheel.
Yeah, you draw those platforms right now.
I can answer this, right? You make it harder.
Could make it harder. I mean, look at like the new Super Mario Bros. Wii. That game was like the game of assholes right there, because it was just like everyone killing everyone constantly. It's like, what you doing there? I'm gonna jump on your head when you're in the middle of that pit. You're gonna die, man. You're gonna be dead.
That is true.
You
That
just
like
look deep in their eyes and you're dead. I killed you.
No, I remember I used to play with my sister on that, and she wasn't really that good in it, and so I would either rush through the level and leave her behind, or I would always like pick her up and like try to be nice, be like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to take you through the level." As soon as I saw a pit or a lava pit, I'd be like, "Oops, sorry, I threw you in there. My
Jump
bad."
on Yoshi and just eat the person and just like carry them around in the mouth the whole time. Like, yep, we're gonna beat this game one way or another. Damn it,
We're getting through
we're
this
gonna
right
have
now.
quality fucking time here.
That's when you put Yoshi in the nearest pit. Just like, oh, jump off, Yoshi. Oh, I forgot you were in there.
Seriously, that game really.
Betrayal.
I played it once and I was just like, I don't think I had been more pissed about a video game in a long time. It was just like, really getting to me actually. Like, it was like, this is Mario. It's supposed to be fun. Why am I not having fun?
Have the whole family together. We're having fun, gosh darn it!
Oh.
Rayman is also another title I talked about.
Another 5-player game as well.
Yeah.
That is something I don't understand. Like, who does Rayman belong to? Is that just like cross-platform or cross whatever console or what?
I have no idea who owns the rights to
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. You have taught me something today,
I
Gary.
should have
Have
known
they-
too. Like, they have
they
a lot
always-
of games coming out
Have they always owned it?
since
Has
the beginning
Ubisoft
of like, the first one on
Rayman?
PlayStation.
Yes.
Sí, senor.
Probably.
I didn't know Ubisoft was around at that time,
I
though.
didn't even know that Rayman was that popular. To be honest with you.
Well, it got popular with freaking the PlayStation release because it was just like a bunch of. It was like a different Rayman game apparently, but everybody loved it. It was like, oh my god, I need
'Cause,
more.
I mean, I think like the first 2 or 3 weren't they just like 3D platform games essentially? And I mean that's still what it is now, but it's so much more than that. I mean, it stands out in the crowd of those like 3D platformers like Gex or Glover.
Yep.
I played the one for the Game Boy Color to death, like just because it had such addicting music, like especially the second world, like dun 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 dun
is
dun 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 dun.
I feel like I just smoked a cigarette.
Okay. That kind of came out of nowhere. Good for you though. Good for you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Most Lucky One. I'm just going to call you that for now. Mr. Most Lucky One. Might want to change your
I'm
name.
fine with
But, do you play a lot of Zelda games at all?
I think I played Link to the Past a little,
Yeah.
but really,
Well, I mean,
that-
you were a Genesis guy,
Yeah.
so, Super Nintendo was your rival, your enemy, your most hated enemy.
well, we don't have any Super Nintendos around here, so...
Gotcha. Was it not known as the Mega Drive in Serbia?
I got my Mega Drive actually from Germany. My grandfather worked there, and he gave it as a Christmas present. So yeah, it was a good Christmas.
Oh, any Christmas where you get a new console is always a good Christmas. But
And the games were all from Germany, so not really. We had basically a hacked Nintendo around here.
no, nice. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing like getting a hacked console with a bunch of German games. That sounds like a good day to me.
I'd take it.
Of course you would, Uto, because you're so very German.
I am.
I am too. I learned so much German from listening to Rammstein. I know so much now. So much.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Man, David Hasselhoff.
and David House. Well, that's our poorly placed segue into the possibility of there being a Majora's Mask for the Wii U. And as I completely forgot about, because they don't play handheld consoles, they did remake Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. So, what do you guys think? Distinct possibility? Very much so.
I don't know. You can buy Majora's Mask for the GameCube.
Can you? Yeah.
Yeah.
How so?
You can get it on Amazon, actually I think we looked on Amazon because I wanted it along with Ocarina of Time and Master Quest, but they didn't have it on Amazon. But I've seen people own it, and because like the colors of the icons are switched. Like in Ocarina of Time, like the B button was originally green, but on the GameCube the controller is red, so they switched it to red, and the start button is gray, so all the icons were switched like it was for Master Quest and Ocarina of Time for the GameCube.
That is strange. I never heard about that. But then
I
again,
don't know is it like an official like Nintendo release? Because you think they would have publicized that a lot more.
I don't know. I could look it up.
that's true. It just depends. I mean, Majora's Mask came out in '99, right? Or was it 2000?
No,
2000.
99. Oh, okay.
2000.
Really? Because, I mean, it almost makes sense then, because then the GameCube came out just like a couple years later, that they might have just like tacked it on there as just like without even telling anyone. But I don't know. I think I would have heard about that if that was true. So
Yeah, exactly. It would have been a lot more publicized if that were true.
yeah, but I think talking about potential Wii U launch titles, that would be a great one. I mean, there's no end to the amount of fanboyism for Legend of Zelda, and I mean,
Yeah.
we were saying rehashes of Wii games, but still, that's a game that people would like to see, just like people always want to see a remade Final Fantasy VII or remade.
I know a lot of people were excited that they were glad that freaking Wingless Icarus, or not Wingless Icarus, that kid Icarus, the thing that flies, that came out for the 3DS. Yeah, they were excited that they were thinking they were going to make a sequel for the Wii U, but then apparently Miyamoto came out with an article the other day saying that no, it's like if he ever were to make another game, it wouldn't be for another 25 years. Be like, well, that's kind of a kick in the face to the people who actually like that game. So
I don't know if I've heard anything that great about it. I mean, seemed like there was a lot of hype for it, but I haven't heard.
I heard people say it was really good.
Yeah.
yeah, they were saying that the only thing they really didn't like was the fact that the controls and the story, everything else was good. Like the gameplay in general was good.
Well, controls and story are pretty big marks right there, though.
According to Amazon itself, the only Majora's Mask for the GameCube was in the Zelda Collector's Edition.
Well, I guess
Yeah,
there was one, though, at least. I mean, I had a feeling that it wouldn't actually be just like Majora's Mask for the GameCube, because I checked retro games enough that I would have probably noticed that. But there you go. Everyone run out and get it for the GameCube.
It's actually a very expensive disc, Johnny. It's like, I just checked, it's up to like $60 right now.
That is getting up there.
Basically, was apparently less than a new Wii U game will be.
Yeah, weren't they saying they're only going to be like $40-50 or something like that?
Oh, so what was the rumor about it being 100?
Oh, right, we did hear about them being 100, didn't we?
Yeah.
I don't
We all freaked
don't
out.
think they could possibly be $100. That'd just blow my mind. For
Yeah.
Nintendo especially. I think that Nintendo will always be that place where you can go, where they're not going to be super concerned about their. Well, they are, because they're a business, but like the revenue that they make, they know that they put all of their heart and soul into their games, and they're not just doing it to make a quick buck, because we've seen game sales down drastically throughout the past year, and it's because people are just pumping out shit games, and that's the truth about it.
Every other week, it's like, oh, new Call of Duty, new this, new this old franchise that nobody actually ever played. We're going to put out another one.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I feel about Kid Icarus, to be honest. I mean, I understand the game is probably really good, but you're talking about a character that hasn't been in a game since basically the beginning of the Nintendo.
Funny enough, there has not been a good game in like so long. I've actually spent more money on retro games in the last 2 years than I had on like brand new games. Like the only brand new games I can think of that I actually bought because I wanted them were like Skyrim, and that's honestly about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and good old Diablo 3. Woo! Talk about an investment. Yeah.
Skyward Sword's fun.
Okay, yeah, Skyward Sword, like obviously like the new Zelda stuff. 'cause,
And then, I don't know, I kind of like, everybody has their own taste, and then, I'm kind of, a current gen gamer, and I fondly like the Assassin's Creed series. I think not only has the gameplay gotten better over the past couple of games, but the story really gets you. If you actually pay attention, it's just one of those things where it's like, wow, all of this makes sense. I could totally see this happening in real life. So I definitely like the Assassin's Creed series. The only thing I don't like about it, though, is how they tend to reuse the overall sandbox world. So there's, pathways you can do your parkouring or whatever, but then a lot of it you feel like, wow, this was the exact same thing I did, like in the last game in this area or whatever. So, yeah, that's just my take on it, though.
I'm just going to say it right now. We're gamers. We don't pay attention to the story.
I do. I like a good story as long as the game.
One of my friends says that's the most important thing in a video game.
Oh, that is. I was just being facetious.
No. Yeah, well, I think that story has always been important. I'm one of those people that when it comes to music, I can really appreciate good music in a video game, but I always find it kind of strange when people are listening to game music just out and about. They're like, oh,
yeah, right?
I'm listening to the battle theme from this particular game. It's like, oh, okay. Because, yeah, I play a lot of video games, especially old video games, where music was super important back in the 8 and 16-bit era. And yet, you play a song, I might be able to kind of, remember hearing it, but I probably couldn't tell you what game it's to. I mean, I guess I think the music's just best set in like that moment, you know.
I put a few video game songs on my iPod, but then like when I'm like put it on shuffle and just listening to it on like a long ride, and I find that like I don't really want to listen to it then. It's not the right atmosphere. It needs
that,
like
that game to go along with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen to video game music like I listen to classical music, so it's all the same to me.
What's some of your favorite video game music, Dilly?
Well, I don't really know.
See, he doesn't even know. He's the only one who listens to it. You don't even know what he's listening to.
I don't really listen to it. The only ones I have are actually symphonies. They're like remakes of Final Fantasy.
You get some techno,
I think-
Final Fantasy, Wub Wub remix, perhaps.
I think video game music is the reason why I prefer like modern pop music. It just a lot of the instruments and the way it's made is similar, and I just like the beat and the drums and the like little explosions sounding instruments that are made artificially.
Tiny explosions scattered throughout the course of the music. What about you, Mr. Most Lucky One? What have you felt about music and games?
I like more the rock music and the music that has fast beats. So
yeah, you don't get much rock music in video games except for
like Mega Man.
The beginning of Final Fantasy X when they're doing Blitzball. I loved that the first time I saw that one.
I think
There's some pretty badass themes in Earthbound. Just gonna throw that out there.
yeah.
True.
So
Well, Earthbound's just an all-around amazing game. But yeah,
I still should play Earthbound.
Well, you should. I mean, just to play it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's one of the best things about being a Let's Player is that you can play games and you're like, oh, I'm going to play this for an audience, and now I finally get to be able to, I feel like I'm almost compelled to play it then. Not finish a game halfway through when you're just playing it for yourself and you don't necessarily want to, which I've been there a bajillion times.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never actually finished Final Fantasy 2 or 3 on the NES until I Let's Played them.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Let's not talk
I never
crazy.
Never finished Final Fantasy VII. Still don't feel that fulfilled about it, but still, till I LP'd it.
It's because you have the super negative connotation of the game going into it. You're just like, this game sucks. We're gonna have a bad time. Let's go.
No, I said we're gonna make the best of this, and at the end I was like, oh, well, that's it.
Well, then, see, you hated that, didn't you? I know I hated it. It was terrible. Ugh. I don't know.
Oh, son of a bitch.
How can you say such terrible things about Final Fantasy VII? It was not that bad of a game.
Well, I can't get into RPGs. I don't like having to buy new equipment and new potions and decide what moves to do when, and not being able to actually move around during a fight and attack.
Well, then
That's
perhaps
why
play
if-
some Demon Souls.
That, or if you want to play a really simplistic RPG that really gets you into it, play Paper Mario. That's the reason why I loved Paper Mario so much, because it had the RPG feel, but you didn't feel like you needed to be an expert at RPGs to get into it. It was very simplistic. It didn't overwhelm you with like, oh, you need to know this, and this about, this type of enemy, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, I tried Paper Mario. It's just too much for me.
It's too much.
Okay.
Take it back.
It's just too much.
I don't know. I think that's even better of an introduction to RPGs than like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest is. Even Mystic Quest is actually kind of a tough game, but I would go with Super Mario RPG just because I like classic retro games. That one that really got me into RPGs.
I've heard from a lot of people from people that don't like RPGs, so they like that game.
Well, it's got a great sense of humor about itself. It's got, it's Mario. There's nothing too super difficult about it. It's kind of a long game, that's for sure. But
It's a very long game.
Since we're talking about Paper Mario, I gotta say, I really hate what they've done with the series. Like, the first one was great. The second one was great. The third one, what the fuck was that?
What was the third
Super
one?
Paper Mario, my personal opinion, I thought it was a great game. Another great game by Nintendo with the Mario series, but it wasn't a Paper Mario game. It didn't have that, feel that you got from every other game. So I'll concede to that point. And then I'm a little hesitant about, the sticker thing, what they're doing with the 3DS.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'm not going to judge it until it's actually out, though.
What's that all
I
about?
bought.
It's going back to the RPG, like the actual standard RPG, not action RPG, but it revolves around stickers, where I believe the stickers actually give you your power-up. So yeah, you get a sticker for the hammer, you get a sticker for your shoe, and I don't know, right then and there, it just seems to go a little too kiddish, and it's weird.
All right. Well, I guess if you
I
found the
think
exact
what they're
moment.
doing is they're trying to use the paper aspect more than they did in before. That's why you got the stickers and the fan and all that stupid shit. Where before it was just the art style. It had really nothing to do with paper for the most part.
Yeah, I could totally see that, but I don't know. Like you said, we can't really judge it until it's officially out. So,
Well, I mean, Mario games have kind of been a little lackluster throughout the past decade. I thought Mario Sunshine, when that came out, even though a lot of people love that game now, I thought that was the stupidest thing in the world when I first saw that.
Yeah, people were always saying like after a year of it being out, that game's really underrated. But
Well, that's what they say about everything. Same with Luigi's Mansion as well.
Actually,
I
have to
like Luigi's
disagree
Mansion
with
since I got that, but that's just me. Go ahead, Uto.
I have to disagree with the lackluster Mario games statement in the last decade, because Mario Galaxy games are fucking awesome.
I was going to say those. I mean, they are really, those games are very good games, but I don't know. I just feel like, I hope they can keep that going. And it seems like they've had to make it larger and larger. It started with, Mario, up to Mario 3, then Mario World, Mario in the universe. Where's he going to go next? Maybe you'll actually
Mario
start
in the
plumbing some
Afterlife.
toilets after a while. Who knows?
Super Mario Afterlife.
Super Mario Afterlife.
Yeah, he'll be in heaven.
It'll be like Resident Evil, or just after Afterlife. What do you do? Then they go to, what is it? What is the new Resident Evil subtitle? Can't remember.
Hell.
Revolution?
Hell, you go to hell.
I have no idea.
Well, even then, I mean, I'm not sure if he could do that anymore, because technically he did something like that in Super Paper Mario. We actually went to Game Over Land, so...
Game Over Land is a dark place. Oh, Retribution. I think. Thanks, Gavin.
I'm entirely sure about that. Don't quote me.
Well, it's too late. We've quoted you.
We're quoting...
That sounds right.
Well, I hope they can go back to doing what they did with Resident Evil 4. Although, I think if you play Resident Evil 4, considering some of the game mechanics of first-person shooters nowadays, it hasn't stood up all too well. But for its time, when it first came out, I can see where it was as amazing as it was. And mind you, I didn't play Resident Evil 4 up until about a year ago or so. So I wasn't there when it first came out. But it seems like a lot of people disliked Resident Evil 5. For one reason.
It's because the game mechanics changed with the shooting. Like you said that Resident Evil 4 with the shooting, but that's the same shooting mechanic they've had past Resident Evils, and that's why people liked it so much. When 5 came around, you could strafe and you get quick equip things, quick.
So that's where they'd make the real distinction between what really shine away from Resident Evil type games.
5 was definitely a completely different game. 4 was touching on some things and doing some different things, which all worked, and I really liked with the action buttons and sequence and stuff like that. But then 5 just they went a little bit further, and they probably should have. Well, but it was still a fun game.
You got to say that people definitely had to appreciate the fact that you could actually, they didn't have those really bizarre camera angles that they had in the early Resident Evil games. Not to mention the cheesy dialogue, for whatever that counts. But we'll see what happens with it,
I think what turned around with 5 was the co-op and the ability to play online. They really took the multiplayer aspect of that game and expanded it. Because none before ever could you play a Resident Evil game with a friend.
Oh, never before.
And that's something they definitely need to imply with the Wii U, that, with the new Smash Brothers, the new Mario games, the new Mario Kart, because they're going to make a new one for the Wii U. They definitely have to make the servers a lot better so people around the world can play with each other.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of issues with the Mario Kart servers in general, and I've seen them firsthand a bit myself. It seems like they are really, people tend to lag out, and it can be really hard to start up a match in those.
Yeah,
but
you don't have any idea, Johnny.
I don't.
No idea.
I really don't. But Well,
I remember sitting at McDonald's for like hours with my DS trying to get a match going on
no.
my Mario Kart.
You go to McDonald's.
I went to McDonald's. I didn't have Wi-Fi.
I need Wi-Fi. I'm going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
good.
don't think we're going to see a Mario Kart game for the Wii U for at least like 2, maybe 3 years. We might not see one until like 2015, to be honest.
4 months.
Mario Kart 7 came out, 2011? Like November, same
Mario Kart
as
games,
like Skyward
always,
Sword.
They always come out like towards the end of a console's life. It seems like they're just like they're like the one like trump card they have left. It's like, all right, when we start losing sales, we'll hit them with the Mario Kart.
We'll drive them to buy it. I get it.
Oh,
Or Parasail, because they had that in Mario Kart 7.
true. Hooray for parasailing. Man, I really want to get Double Dash for the GameCube. It's been a long time since I played it, and I don't have enough good games for the GameCube.
I have a really embarrassing story about
Yeah, did you like
Double Dash.
pee your pants while playing it? Because that is embarrassing.
No, but I did cry in front of my brother. And that was when I was like 10 too. Like,
And that was just yesterday.
no, maybe it was like 12. I don't know.
Maybe I was 17. That was just yesterday. It just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah, I was trying to get the gold cart, and I was like on Rainbow Ride, the last course on the Grand Prix, where you had to do like all 16 tracks, and I came in second, and that lost it for me. I didn't get it, so
And he just broke down.
I broke down.
Couldn't handle it anymore. He retired from racing. Haven't seen him since. Hopefully you'll have a comeback tale of the ages eventually.
I did get it eventually,
Oh, well
because
then.
I'm very persistent. Like I don't care if I just like if I like get emotionally struck. I'll like get right back on my feet and I'm like, alright, I'm gonna do it this time. Even though the controller's all like sweaty and greasy. I'm like,
Oh, yeah, it's all greasy. I'm eating an entire large pizza. You just gotta keep going. It's like I'm
Gotta
at
keep
Chuck E.
going.
Cheese all over again. Jeez.
It's like, oh god, I'm getting a crab.
I remember I also threw the controller and screamed and woke my parents up when I was trying to beat boss battles on Intense in Super Mario or Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
No. Nice.
That was like the hardest trophy for me to get.
Oh, so Mr. Most Awesome Lucky One from a country that I can't pronounce, bro. What's the gaming community look like there? I mean, I know we touched on that a little bit before we started Friday Night Skype, but what's it like there? Do you have a large group of buddies? You got like GameStops in every corner, arcades everywhere.
No, nothing. I think there is one arcade in the city and 1 or 2 shops where you can buy games.
Wow. Well, I mean,
That's sad. That's just.
no, it's not that sad. I mean, like I buy all my games. I buy retro games mostly, but I buy them all online anyway. So at least
Well,
we have the internet now, right?
Since we can't do that since we are not in the European Union, so we can't purchase any stuff on the internet. That's
Really?
kind of. We can't.
Wow. Learn new stuff every day on this show, I'm telling you.
Yeah, in order for that to work, we would need a PayPal account, so we can't make a PayPal account to buy stuff from the internet.
Oh man, that really sucks, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet's
does.
like the way of life now, so. Well,
So we are basically stuck a few years before. It's kind of like when you come here, you travel back in time. You know,
Whoa.
there are still horses on the street that, basically. Well, you know what I mean. Basically,
there are horses on the street running wild. Sounds insane.
on the street. That sounds insane. Yeah.
The true Wild West over there. Now it's
Actually, it's kind of funny because I remember like a few years ago when I was walking to school, I just saw a random horse on the street. I later found out it escaped from a petting zoo, but it was the trippiest thing ever. I'm just walking down the street, like on the sidewalk, up this hill. I start coming up, a horse is walking down the other way, and we pass each other. I just kind of look at it. I'm like, what the fuck?
He says good day to me and walks on by.
It's a normal occurrence around here, so it's okay.
Oh, just another horse.
Just another
saying
horse.
hello to me. Nothing out of the ordinary here.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, though. I mean, you're always welcome to come to America and live in my house. You can get a PayPal account that way.
Buy stuff on the internet.
Yeah, buy stuff on the internet. Throw it out there. Oh, man. But, anyhow, so, yeah. Anything else?
Pirate is coming up for the Wii U.
Oh, new stuff coming out for the Wii U?
Bayonetta 2. You heard that? Heard of that?
No, I have not heard of that.
Basically, Bayonetta is Devil May Cry, just sexier.
Oh, is this the new Devil May Cry with the new Dante in it?
No. It has the same mechanics as Devil May Cry. You have basically a female protagonist fighting angels.
Oh.
So in Devil May Cry, you have a male protagonist fight devils, and there you have a female protagonist fight angels.
Wait, we're talking about Bayonetta 2, aren't we?
Bayonetta 2, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I heard like a lot of people were really mad that was a Wii U exclusive for some reason. Like there was a bunch of hate for that.
That makes no sense, actually. So it was released for the Xbox and PlayStation 3, and now it's a Wii U exclusive. It's not. It makes no sense to me.
Huh.
Yeah, a lot of people were super mad about that. I haven't played the game, so I wouldn't know. But apparently, somebody's upset. You know.
I would love for exclusive ability to come back. I mean, I think that's what really makes systems stand apart. And back in the Super Nintendo and Genesis days, I mean, that's what it came down to. It was like, do you like the games on the Genesis or the games on the Super Nintendo? And that was it. That's how you made your choice, you know?
Well, in a way, I kind of like that, kind of don't, because obviously if you have a system, then, you know, you get, I guess, more of an experience because it was made specifically for that system. But I also know that I'm kind of upset by it because, you know, my 360 ended up crapping out because of the stupid red ring. And because of that, I couldn't actually play the Gears of War series, which is, you know, a really good FPS in my opinion. And so that's kind of where it kind of shows where it's good, but it's bad, especially when the game is on a bad system. And yes, I'm calling the old 360 a bad system, not the new one. The refurbished ones are actually pretty decent, but the old ones, I mean, come on, like 90% of those broke in like the first 3 months. Just come on.
That's true. A lot of them did break. I mean,
yeah.
But I don't know. At the same time, I think I like exclusive ability just because it helps for competition. Because people are going to be wanting to get those really awesome titles. If you got a title, it gets coming out for every system. You know, I think that leads to lack of innovation. And developers aren't even going to care that much. They're like, we're cashing in on 3 systems, guys. But we don't got to do shit.
That's pretty much about it.
I brought my PlayStation 3 just because of Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
So
that was a good reason to buy one.
Yeah, I mean, it was the end of the series, basically. Now they are just making prequels, as far as I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Metal Gear Solid series has always been really strong for the most part. I mean, I haven't played it very extensively, but, you know, everyone loves it, so.
It's very good. You have very crazy boss battles, and, you know, basically you can choose if you want to sneak through it or just shoot
like
whatever.
Crazy. Yeah, I've heard that's a
4-hour cutscenes.
4-hour cutscenes, yeah.
Oh yeah,
That too.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah, well, I've also heard the Hitman games are a lot of that as well, where you have the choice of either being able to stealthily go through a stage, or you can just go in guns blazing. But I don't know if anyone plays Hitman here. So.
I don't.
Yeah, I figured that'd fall short.
It's okay though.
I have like the Hitman trilogy collection or whatever for the PS2, but I can't play it because I don't have a PS2.
What is up with you and Alta buying games for systems that you don't have?
You don't have
Oh, I have a PS2. I've had that game forever. I just can't play it anymore.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'll let that slide then.
I have Double Dragon for the Master System, but I don't have a Master System.
Nice.
Nice.
No, damn. Well,
That's just a random game in the collection I have.
hey, it's still, it's a game though. Well, if you ever get a chance to buy yourself a Master System, no.
Game.
There you go. You got a game for it already.
What's the Master System again? What are you guys talking about? I've never got that.
Sega Master System?
Nintendo, basically.
Yeah.
Sega's Nintendo.
A lot of people don't know about it. It wasn't very popular in America, but it's like when Nintendo came out with the original Nintendo, Sega had the Master System. But most people in America don't know about Sega until the Genesis came out.
Yeah, we don't speak of that.
So, yeah, it was one of those like really low-key type of things. I don't know. It was really popular in Europe, though. But anyhow, I guess that's pretty much all the time we have for now on Friday Night Skype. I want to thank TheMostLucky1, and that's a 1, the number, not the word, for coming out and joining us. We'll leave a link below to his channel. Go check him out. He's done a ton of games, all sorts of games that are really, good quality. And if you're a PSP owner, really love those games, check him out, because I don't know too many Let's Players that do PSP games. So definitely worth checking out. Guys, as always, we didn't do an introduction today, I just realized. Huh.
We all know the introduction, Johnny. Just
know who's
outro.
here.
Yeah, we know who's
Outro.
here. You guys know us already. We're all friends.
Yeah.
It's like Cheers.
Yeah, we're just some people that talk for like
Just
an hour.
voices
No big
in your
deal.
head. Anyhow, thanks a lot for joining us, guys. This has been the Johnny Cage. Signing out for FNS. We'll talk to you all next week.
Catch
Last
you guys
word.
later.
Damn it, last word.